man named Stanley.
Grim here, playing the Stanley Parable.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him
Oh my god, it's like exactly like a real life job.
and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He's brainwashed. So no such thing as a happy person that push buttons all day.
Happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Wasn't I just sitting down there? How did my... Oh, whatever.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, this one left his computer on. Turned it off. Shit computers. Bet you they can't even fucking run Fallout Tactics. Yeah. Oh look. Username access. Fucking terrible computers. What is this? The 1990s?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Fuck you! I want to explore. I want to push that in. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, no trace. Well, someone clearly spilled coffee here. There's clearly a trace, and I will find these fucking assholes. There's gonna be something around here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, it's gonna be something in one of these doors.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other co-workers. What? It's going too fast. I can't read that fast. Things. Money. More money. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things plus money. We have our new product. What is hot? Profit. Oh, wow. This is a terrible company. All they care about is profit. They don't care for people like me. Sit at home playing video games.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, alright, sure.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. I'm scared of my boss. I'm too shy. I'm gonna go hide here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Exactly.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk?
Exactly, this guy is speaking my mind.
Everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
Exactly.
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all?
Yeah.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
All right.
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Oh,
and for
crap.
that matter,
Haunted.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they
This is a
simply
haunted
repeating?
place.
No, Stanley said to himself,
This ghost.
this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm
Ghost.
dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief
I'm going
Stanley
around in
felt
circles.
to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
That is
He
good.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Sounds
So,
like a
he
good idea.
imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh shit.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps
It
the
drugged me.
strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Because I'm a
Now the
tool.
voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Oh, you shut the
While he
fuck
thought
up.
it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Get out of my
He was
head!
simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as weak right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I am
So
in
he
control.
closed his eyes gently, and he
Who the
invited himself
fuck?
to
Oh
wake
crap.
up.
Oh crap.
He
No,
felt
the
full
darkness.
weight of the blanket
I'm
on
too
his
scared.
skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm
Yeah.
through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
Fuck
I want
you.
my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My
No.
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be
normal.
fine. I am okay.
I will fucking murder you when I find you, strange voice in my head.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just
Oh my
someone
God.
tell me I am real.
Getting
I must be
goosebumps.
real. I
This
must
is
be
scaring me.
Anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yeah.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
Oh
The
my
very
God.
important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
This is like,
She had no time for
this
this.
is torture
So
of
it was
again.
only a moment that
torturing
she
me.
stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What the fuck? Great, so I got the bad ending already? Wow. Sucks. Well, I guess I'll have to redo it then.